What would you say to Donald Trump if he was watching right here, right now?
Release the Epstein files.
I hate you, man.
Get out of office immediately. You're not helping anyone. In fact, you're hurting the entire population. Immigrants are welcome here.
You need help, man. The people around you are taking advantage of you. You're an old man with dementia. This is elderly abuse. Also, fuck.
It's really hard, just one thing. Bring back democracy.
You're only fooling a small percentage of the population with your lies.
We all see through your lies. You're racist. There's no other words to say it, but you're racist.
Step down. Step down and do the right thing.
You need to just go. You know that. I mean, he's not well, and I don't want to be like this. He's ineffective, and you know you're ineffective.
Your days are numbered.
And what does that mean?
You're going to be out soon. And even if you make it to your full term, history's not going to be light to you. You're on the wrong side of history.
Today, organizers say at least 7 million Americans took to the streets protesting what many called an abuse of power by President Trump. House Speaker Mike Johnson called it, quote, the Hate America rally. Here in New York City, police say 100,000 people turned out at multiple marches. They report no arrests. There were more than 2,600 events from coast to coast. They are all part of the No Kings movement, which accuses the president of behaving more like a monarch than an elected official.
Farmers and fighters and men and women who would have rather died on their feet than live on their knees. We kneel to no crowns, we bow to no thrones, and we stand tall for freedom, liberty, and justice for all.
Some of y'all are not going to want to hear this, but I'm going to explain it to you anyway because it's really important. This No Kings March is bullshit. This is what is called a pseudo event. It is an action that looks like it's meant to create change, but in fact, it doesn't create any change. There are going to be millions of people marching and making absolutely zero demands of our government. That is not a protest. That's a party. That's a millions of people across the country party. And the reason that these kinds of events happen is they are organized with the intention of being a pressure release valve, meaning that they're seeing that tensions are heightening, that people are pushing back against ICE, people are pushing back against what's happening. So they create this really big march and this big protest with absolutely no demands so that people go in the streets and they feel that camaraderie and they feel like they're doing something so that they will then sit down and do nothing. This is what's called controlled opposition. It is intended to divert energy from real organized action that is to fight the systems that we are in and to actually demand change with consequences for if those changes are not met. It is meant to divert energy away from that into something that is safe, that is police approved, that is really controlled, again, controlled opposition, and that is not going to be disruptive so that people can feel like they did something and then nothing actually changes. Meanwhile, the actual organized action, the actions that fight the system, that demand change, those actions now lose energy and lose steam because people went and marched in the streets and they feel good like they did something and now they can go Netflix and chill. This march, I understand people want to feel like they're doing something, and I understand that wanting that sense of community, but these are the kinds of events that actually harm real change to the systems that we are living in and all of the liberties that are being stripped of us right now. We need to actually come together and make demands of our government, of our politicians, and have consequences for those demands, because a march of millions of people in the street with no demands for actual change and no clear pathway for change is not a protest. It's a party.
I encourage you to watch. We call it the Hate America rally that'll happen Saturday. Let's see who shows up for that. I bet you see pro-Hamas supporters. I bet you see Antifa types.
The Democrat Party of yesterday is headed to the ash heap of history. These guys are playing to the most radical, small, and violent base in the country. You'll see them on Saturday on the mall. They just do not love this country, and these guys are afraid of them. We call it the Hate America rally because you'll see the hate for America all over this thing when they show up.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel once again. So guys, I want us to watch this clip and see what happened
happen during the No Kings Day March, which happened on Saturday. So kindly guys, I want you to watch this and see the reactions from Black Americans. Watch till the end, then I'll be back with more comment.
No Kings protests planned across the country on Saturday as well. What are your thoughts on those?
What do they call? No Kings?
No Kings.
I don't feel like a king. I have to go through hell to get stuff approved. A king would say, I'm not going to get this. A king would have never had the California mandate to even be talking to him. He wouldn't have to call up Mike Johnson and Thune and say, fellas, you got to pull this off, and after years we get it done. No, we're not a king. We're not a king at all.
We're now on 26th and 7th, and we have a producer who's more than 10 blocks behind us and says there is no end in sight in terms of how far this protest is going. We're trying right now to get an updated estimate. Originally, they thought about 200,000 people, but right now, best guesses are that they've far exceeded that. Just the turnout here in this city. They've been estimating more than 5 million people are going to take part in all the cities, big and small, that are taking part in this movement. Here in New York, number one concern is that the scenes that we're seeing play out in the city of Chicago right now, the aggressive immigration enforcement, the citizens, the teenagers who have been detained by federal agents in recent days, that's a scene that's going to come here very soon to New York. Already the administration has basically telegraphed this. The president threatening that if Zoran Mamdani, who's very likely to become mayor in a few weeks, does become the mayor of the city, that soon those kinds of images are coming here. Take a listen to a conversation that I had with a Vietnam veteran, 82 years old, named Fred Herrera, as he spells out what's at stake here, Ali.
This sign, when I saw young kids being dragged out, I've dealt with real soldiers. American soldiers, North Vietnamese soldiers. These are real soldiers. These are brave men. Soldiers fight other soldiers. Soldiers do not fight women and children. What ICE is doing is outrageous. They are a paramilitary force. That's why I'm using the term soldier.
What would your message be to someone who is maybe fearful of taking part in a protest, worried that this administration will crack down on them or their loved ones? What would you say to someone who's unsure of how to speak up right now?
What would I say? I have the answer on the other side.
Can you read this for me? Lift it up. Protest now.
Protest now or bow down later.
Those are your options?
Yes.
We have some major news right now. I'm at the DC No Kings Day protest where there are tens of thousands of people. This is the flagship protest. Folks, the crowd goes all the way to the United States Capitol. And I want to show you right behind me over here. And it goes all the way over there, all the way back there to the White House. Tens of thousands of people are here. Remember, they had over 100,000 people during the first No Kings Day protest on June 14th. Organizers expect that this is bigger, and if I had to guess, it's probably bigger already, except we don't have official crowd numbers just yet right now. But folks, look at this. Look at this. Tens of thousands of people marching. It's all peaceful, not a shred of violence, completely peaceful in Washington, D.C. And I'm on a bit of a lift, so we're going to try to go up and see if we can see this from aerial from the crowd. But this is what democracy looks like. This is the First Amendment right now in real time.
So they're doing the No Kings protest again, right? Y'all, it's proven facts that we don't have a king here inside the United States. We have a president.
The fact that you're literally allowed to go out and protest No Kings means that you don't have a king.
So are you accidentally stupid or are you stupid on purpose? Because the only reason you would go to a No Kings protest in 2025 is if you were stupid enough to believe that America had kings. Now, your very participation in this event invalidates the entirety of your argument.
Hey, is that newsletter that you're all getting written in crayon? What the fuck is so difficult about this concept? We're not getting in the streets because we think there's a king. We're getting in the streets because there's currently an army of masked men sent by your president violating thousands of Americans' Fourth Amendment right against search and seizure. We're getting in the streets because we're tired of watching children be zip-tied and thrown into vans. And we're tired of losing our fucking health care and our bodily autonomy. We're getting in the streets to show you dumb, slack-jawed weirdos that you are not inevitable and our numbers are more than yours. That's why.
I'm going to give a hot take on something here. I'm going to say that the No Kings protest is the very definition of white privilege. Why do I say that?
because white people have the privilege to protest on a Saturday outside of working hours every 3 months. You get up, eat your Wheaties, make a sign, you feel good, you do something for an hour and a half, and then you go back, you post it on Facebook, and you go, cool, we'll do this again in January. That is privilege. If you're black, if you're Latino, if you're Mexican, if you're Muslim, if you're Asian, if you're anything other than white, every day, people across this country are getting looked at differently, or getting shit on, their due process, they're getting racially profiled. That's why we're still here. Because white people are still refusing to get off their damn couch and do it. If you want to actually protest, if you want to be an actual ally and really fight fascism, do that shit every day. Every day should be a new No King's Day. Not every 3 months, not every 4 months, not every fucking month. Every goddamn day. You stop working. You don't pay your taxes. You protest. And you shut this shit down. Now, when you're ready to do that, you let me know. But I'm sick and tired of people thinking that No Kings is going to change anything, because it ain't. It makes white people feel good like they did the bare fucking minimum. 2025strike.com. You want to do something? You go sign that damn petition. You reverse Citizens United, you give women their rights back, you raise minimum wage, you put in gun reform, and you put term limits on people in the Senate and the Supreme Court. If you're not going to do those basic things, it doesn't matter if a Democrat or Republican run this damn country, because none of it benefits us. I am sick and tired of kids getting shot in goddamn schools, but people on the right bitching about a drag queen reading at a fucking high school. I'm sick and tired of it. So you have a choice, people. You can be on the right side of history or the white side of history. But if all you're willing to do is the bare minimum, then you're staying on the white side of history, because you're unwilling to be uncomfortable. The very definition of white privilege.
The crowd is for sure building here at Father Duffy Square, and what is the second No King's Day demonstration we are seeing across the country this year. You can take a look at those signs. Demonstrators are here with their flags, some even with their children. And the first No King's Day demonstration in June was triggered by President Donald Trump's military parade. This time around, it's sparked by the prolonged government shutdown, along with the deployment of federal authorities towards immigration enforcement and at other demonstrations across the country. Some of these signs here we're seeing say, America was built by immigrants. We don't bow to billionaires. Just a lot of frustration from demonstrators here and across the country, calling the Trump administration authoritarian. And this is one of thousands of demonstrations being held across the country today.
I was willing to die and lost a leg in a foreign country fighting for their rights. There's no way I'm bending the only knee I have left for a king here in America. I can't sit idly by why rights are trampled on and ignored, and people are pushed and treated like second-class citizens.
This is a reminder and a warning. Tomorrow, Americans from Baltimore to Bakersfield will participate in more than 2,500 No Kings protests, not as Democrats, not as Republicans, but as citizens, answering what 7 out of 10 Americans now believe to be a constitutional crisis. Never in the history of our republic has a president sent a National Guard unit from one state into another without the consent of that state's elected leaders. Never in the history of our republic has a president sent massed federal police into American cities to conduct warrantless raids, pulling children out of their beds in the middle of the night, arresting American citizens for absolutely no cause, shooting a praying priest in the head with a pepper ball. Never in the history of our republic has a president shut out the legitimate press from both the White House and the military. And never since the Civil War have we been this close to a total breakdown in constitutional order. Our founding fathers, imperfect men, had wisdom enough to list 5 particular freedoms first in the Constitution: the freedom of religion, speech, press, peaceful assembly, and the right to petition our government for grievances. These were listed first for a reason. From women's rights to civil rights to peace movements, we have used these freedoms to make good change in our country. In 1970, more than 20 million Americans marched in the first Earth Day protest. That was 10% of our population of the time, peacefully assembled. And months later, it led to the creation of the EPA, the Clean Air Act, the Clean Water Act. These weren't radicals, these weren't terrorists, these were Americans using disciplined, peaceful pressure to make real change in their government. And it worked. So here's the warning. Donald Trump has two goals. The first is to define Americans as radical enemies of the state. And the second is to provoke us into violence so he can control the nation under military rule. And we are not going to give him that excuse. We are not on the streets to give Trump his riot. We are on the streets to deny him a crown. And tomorrow might be the largest protest in American history. Millions of Americans standing shoulder to shoulder, defending our Constitution without firing a shot or swinging a fist. And years from now, when our kids and our grandkids ask, well, what did you do to secure my freedom? We can say, I stood up, I spoke out, and I did it peacefully. Not because I was afraid to raise my fist, but because I wouldn't give a tyrant a war that he wanted. And as a veteran, I am deeply honored to walk the streets of America with you tomorrow as we hold the line together, as we hold it peacefully. I'll see you there.
Donald Trump's weekend has been ruined as the No Kings protest is far bigger and far more massive than anybody expected. Millions of Americans took to the streets across the country in each state to show their love of country, to show their patriotism, and to stand up to Donald Trump's power grabs. Not just here in America, but we saw this around the globe. People came out to tell Donald Trump where he can shove it. And Donald Trump and Republicans, they wanted violence. They wanted chaos. They wanted anti-American sentiment. But instead, all they got were peaceful patriots that loved their country and wanted to exercise their First Amendment rights. But here's the best part. It doesn't end here. We'll do this again. You can count on that. But we're going to harness this energy. We're going to take what we felt here today and use it next November and take back the House and take back the Senate, because that's how we hold Donald Trump accountable. That's how we really show him there are no kings in America. There's rules you got to abide by, but you can know Donald Trump is seeing this and he's fuming.
The numbers are in. Today, over 7 million people all across the world, literally, went out and protested for the future of the people, fair governance, and democracy while protesting against Donald Trump and his administration. Over 100,000 people protested in Los Angeles, 200,000 people in Washington, D.C., over 100,000 people in New York City, 100,000 people in Boston, 100,000 people in Chicago, 40,000 people in Portland, not to mention the loads of people who showed up and protested in places like San Diego, Philadelphia, or San Francisco. And these figures don't even begin to account for what we saw in the over 2,600 American cities that hosted protests that I haven't even named. And the best part of it is, these protests were peaceful. Cities like San Diego and New York City reported 0 protest-related arrests, making No Kings Day 2.0 one of the largest peaceful protests in this country's history. And this is incredibly embarrassing to the White House and many Republicans in Congress that referred to these protests as Hate America rallies and called the attendees violent, hateful people and criminals. Today, we saw a shining example of what democracy should look like. The American people made their voices loud and clear. This is a win in my books.
Let's go over some of the best signs from the No Kings protests. Imagine losing our country to a fat bitch that can't even blend his makeup. Billionaires are the only minority hurting America. 13 years of Christian school and you expect me to not love my neighbor. Veto the Cheeto. This is at all of the protests and this is one of my favorites of all time. If Kamala was in charge, we'd be at brunch, which honestly I think is true. I think that the chaos that has been caused over the past year in our society is mainly because of Trump. Never mind, don't take me to your leader, aka an alien, saying that they'd rather not be on planet Earth. Keep the heat on ice until it melts. You know exactly what that means. I hate crowds, but I hate Trump more. We know what goes down at the Republican parties, at the Republican conventions, and we know what's going on behind closed doors. There have been many people that have been caught on Grindr. This is a good sign. Mike Johnson blocked me on Grindr. This is the worst sequel ever, aka Trump's second term. We already know how that's been going down. Have you seen any other crazy signs? Drop them in the comments.
Well, in case you are not aware, there is another No Kings protest across the country planned for this upcoming Saturday, October 18th. And if you plan to be in attendance, there are a couple things you should know. Number one, the Trump administration is circulating this idea that the No Kings protest is going to be a hotbed of Antifa activity. Antifa, if you don't know, stands for anti-fascist, and the Trump administration has designated them a terrorist organization. There's only one problem with that, though. Antifa is not a group, it's not a club, it has no members or membership. It's an ideology. You know what is a group, though? The KKK, the Klan, the Proud Boys, Turning Point USA, the Groypers. They're a group. But anyway, I digress. The fact that the Trump administration is going out of their way to designate Antifa as a terrorist organization, despite not being an organization at all, should tell you that they're using it as an umbrella term to harass and detain anyone they don't agree with. And the fact that the administration, like I said before, is trying to circulate this idea that the protest is going to be a hotbed for Antifa activity should let you know exactly the kind of timing they on. So if you're going to attend, here's some things you should probably do. Number one, do not bring your phone or any electronic device that can be tracked. No iPhone, no Fitbit, no Samsung, no Android, no Pixel, no Apple Watch, nothing. You're finna be out there like it's 1995. Don't bring nothing with you. If you absolutely must have it on your person, you are going to go on Amazon.com and buy what is known as a Faraday pouch. This is going to be a bag that you can carry with you, small bag, that will block any incoming and outgoing signals from any devices placed inside of it. Makes it that much harder to track. Second thing you're gonna do, right? If you're gonna be out there, do not be out there plain face. I know we all have disdain for these YNs, but they had the right idea with these shiesties. You're gonna get a shiesty and mask the fuck up. You feel what I'm saying to you? The name of the game here, right, is to restrict all the different ways you can be tracked simply by being present. Because trust me when I say, they will be tracking you. I also saw a video from Corn Pop about 2 hours ago talking about how they're going to be at this protest across the country doing retinal scans from afar. So go ahead, throw some glasses in there also. Again, the name of the game is to restrict all the different ways you can be identified from afar simply by being present at a protest you have every right to be at. Don't give these people any ammunition to hem you up.
In response to No King's Day today, this is what the President of the United States decided to do this time. Post an AI video of him dropping shit from an airplane that he's piloting onto American citizens, the likeness of one that you probably recognize, honestly. This is him showing you guys that he made this country a shithole country. Or it's him showing everybody how he's shitted on America his entire political career. And if you're a real patriot, and you think this kind of stuff is totally okay to say about Americans, you are the furthest thing from a patriot that exists. And for those patriots that forgot their history, we literally founded this country to get away from kings, the monarchy. No king since 1776. Your president, your vice president, keep putting crowns on him, and you seem to have no issue with it because you are fake-triots.
Everybody needs to be documenting what's happening in Portland, Oregon, and sharing it everywhere. TikTok has taken down Portland, Oregon as a location that you can tag. They have taken down the tags, they've taken down the locations. They are actively trying to remove views of videos from Portland. There is a massive resistance going on in Portland right now.
This is just a reminder that if somebody made fun of you for attending the No Kings protest today nationwide or even across the world, that means it's working. When somebody legitimately doesn't care about a topic or a subject, they just won't speak on it. Matter of fact, it won't even show up on their For You page because they don't like anything associated with that topic. It's all over their For You pages. I mean, look at this. Look at all these. Just look. That's numerous cities around the country. Numerous cities around the world also looked like this. It was estimated 10 million people signed up to attend these protests in the United States alone, and that's the people who signed up. There's far more people who don't sign up because they don't want others having their information, rightfully so. See, Trump supporters are scared. You want proof? Why wasn't there any counter-protesters out there today? because they know there's a lot more of us than them. I guarantee if we did a ratio count, for every one Trump supporter, there's probably 4 to 5 people who don't support Trump, who are completely against Trump. They're just scared. And that's why they're talking about it and trying to make fun of you for attending and doing what you are legally allowed to do in this country. That is protest and be heard. They're cowering in the corners, folks. They're terrified.
I want to show you the unbelievable turnout of the No Kings protests in major cities across the U.S. This is Boston, Massachusetts. This is Washington, D.C., where over 200,000 people have turned out. This is New York City, where they expect probably 200,000 people as well. And this is Chicago, Illinois. This entire protest is likely the largest ever in modern American history. Good job, guys. Did you attend?
The MAGA crowd is already trying to claim the No Kings protest today was a massive flop. Just look at this insane amount of cope. Eric says, LMAO, No Kings is flopping nationwide. Scenes of protesters deserting their post after their paid time was up. He posted this video of a guy panning around showing an empty street saying, they're gone, they're all gone, the No Kings protest is over. Just like that, they've all cleared out. Evidently that video was taken recently in New York, but I want to show you another video that was also taken recently in New York. They say it's flopping nationwide. If that's the case, then why does Boston, Massachusetts look like this right now? The truth is, millions of people across the entire world are showing up today to protest against Donald Trump. I just showed the aerial footage coming out of New York City, and as you could tell, there was a sea of people spanning for miles. And in Washington, D.C., there are over 200,000 people there right now. To put this into perspective, that is over double the amount that was there during No Kings 1.0. That's not even mentioning places like Europe, Canada, or South America. This is a global movement, not a flop. MAGA is terrified because they know if people actually saw the scale of what's happening, their illusion of control would crumble.
Go over some of the best signs from the No Kings protest. Imagine losing our country to a fat bitch that can't even blend his makeup. Billionaires are the only minority hurting America. 13 years of Christian school and you expect me to not love my neighbor. Veto the Cheeto. This is at all of the protests and this is one of my favorites of all time. If Kamala was in charge, we'd be at brunch, which honestly I think is true. I think that the chaos that has been caused over the past year in our society is mainly because of Trump. Never mind, don't take me to your leader, aka an alien, saying that they'd rather not be on planet Earth. Keep the heat on ice until it melts. You know exactly what that means. I hate crowds, but I hate Trump more. We know what goes down at the Republican parties, at the Republican conventions, and we know what's going on behind closed doors. There have been many people that have been caught on Grindr. This is a good sign. Mike Johnson blocked me on Grindr. This is the worst sequel ever, aka Trump's second term. We already know how that's been going down. Have you seen any other crazy signs? Drop them in the comments.
So guys, I hope you have watched that video and you have seen how Black people, majority of Americans, they have come out and react towards No King's Day protest. And also majority of people, they are saying that those people who are participating in this No King's Day march, especially on the government side, they are saying that the people who are going ahead and protest on No King's Day march, those people, they hate their government. And also others, they are coming out and say that we are going to protest on No King's Day because we are protecting the democracy of our country. Those people, they are protesting on No King's Day because majority of them, they are saying that they love their country and they want a good governance in their country. So guys, what do you think? You can also share your thoughts on the comment section and tell us what do you think about people coming out and protesting. And also I I've seen majority of black people, they have been refusing to go and protest on No King's Day march, simply because majority of black people, they are saying that no, this is not our black fight. And also the black people, they are now staying silent. They are not participating in any protest, simply because majority of them, they are saying that they protested on the ballot. So right now, the people who brought this government in power, they are the ones who need to go and fix their mess, because they are the people who bring all mess which it is happening right now in America. Those MAGA people, those Republicans, they are the people who need to fix they're the people who need to fix this country, because right now we are seeing there's a lot of things which it is happening in America, and these people, they feel like their government, it is not doing anything. Their government, it is just destroying like everything, and that's why you can see white people that are going on the street protesting. And so guys, I want to read some of the comment here and see what people they have come out and say. So this one is saying that, dear black family, cancel Christmas forever. Don't spend your hard-earned money on these people, making them rich. Yeah, so this one is telling the black people also to cancel their Christmas. They should not go out and spend their money. When they're spending their money, they're making these people rich. The billionaires that continue to be rich. So the only way to punish these billionaires, it is not going out and spend your money on their businesses. So this one is saying that black people are still resting. Yeah, so you know, majority of white folks, they have been asking, why are the black people not coming out and joining them in protesting during the No King's Day protest? Because majority of black people, they have been coming out and telling them that no, we tried, we protested on the ballot. Yeah, they protested when they were voting. So right now, after the voted ended, black people, they came out and told these people that black people, right now, we are now resting. So let us rest, and because you are the people who put this government in office, you need to go and do the right thing. You need to do the right thing. Before calling black people for help, you just go and fix your own mess. Those are the message from black people. This one saying that they will go back to work Monday and nothing change. This one saying that I stayed my black self home. This one saying that they should protest during a business's hours when they are at work. Exactly. So this one is saying that the only way to punish this government, it is by not giving taxes, not by paying tax. It is by doing protests during the work day, because during the working days the government will not generate money, and that it is, and the majority of people, the white people, that are saying now that it is the good idea that they need to do, instead of going out protesting one day, then the following day you are gone to work and the government continues collecting more tax. This one saying that these people don't know WTF they are doing. If a white bloc party, if they really wanted to protest, they'd stop participating and voting for corruption. What they are doing is useless. This one saying that they forgot to bring the bouncing house and refreshment. This one saying that this is a look at me match. They not trying to change, just pretend. This one saying that they didn't even bother setting the police on them. That's how unseriously they took these protests. I was embarrassed at their passivity. This one saying that I am so happy that the most of us stayed home. Yeah, this one is a black woman. She's saying that she's happy most of the black people, they stayed at home. And I've been telling you that black people, they are not ready to help these people right now. This problem, black people, they're telling them that this problem that we are having right now in America, you are the one who brought this problem. So you just go out and fix your own mess. This one saying that they out there protesting, they are not demanding any change. They are out there silent. That's not a protest. 100%. This was saying that that protest look like a Halloween parade. They are not serious about helping anyone or themselves. We will not stand in front, by the side, or behind them. Let them suffer by themselves. This one is saying that I agree with the first woman. It's just a woman. It's just a meet and mingle. I would have been impressed if they'd turn out like this during 11/5/2024 for the appropriate candidate. So this one is saying that it is just a march. This is not a protest. This one is saying that this protests were just a party, and when it was over, nothing going to change. Protest with no demand means nothing. Exactly. So you can see majority of black people, they think that this protest without demand, it is like nothing. So this one saying that keep staying home, people. Ephesians 6:11, put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wile of the devil. So this one is saying that when black people showed up to peacefully protest, the government send in dogs, the military, water, horses, weapon, etc. When white people do it, it is just concern, peaceful, and progress. As the late and brilliant Malcolm X once said, the chicken are coming home to roast. Exactly. So if the black people, or when the black people, they were coming out and protest, you will see government sending the dogs, sending the water cannons, sending the military, police, just to just to make the black people not protest. But when the white people that are protesting, you can see they are not doing anything. They are saying that it is a peaceful demonstration. So this is also one of the reasons to why black people, they didn't come out and protest with these people. This was saying that nothing will change without consequences. Organize boycott of businesses. They respond to nothing but an attack of their bottom line. Jimmy Kimmel was right back on the air after people financially hit Disney, Hulu, EFC, ABC, Apple Plus, where it counted. Money talk, BS, walk, start petition to recall, do nothing. Republicans, politicians in your district who supported the nonsense coming out of the White House or on a vacation for the last 3 weeks, start a petition for no pay during a shutdown. Exactly. So this one saying that they should start a petition of no pay during shutdown. This one saying that probably all voted for President Trump now voters regret when marching will not change one thing. They didn't even demand for the government shutdown be ended immediately. Yeah, so you can see majority of black people, they see like these people, they are not doing anything. This protest, and the protest without demanding, it is nothing. So kindly guys, you can share also your thoughts on the comment section. Let us know what do you think about this protest. So kindly guys, subscribe if you haven't liked this video, share, and also comment. See you on my next one. Bye bye guys.